Welcome back to Winners and Losers, the show that looks at the highs and the lows of the transfer market. We're shooting this on Friday, so things could change over the weekend. If they do, don't abuse us. Patrick Van Straten is joining me on my right. Pato, who is our first winner?
It's Ousmane Dembele. Now, Neymar's done.
Yes.
We move on to the next huge name in the market, and it's Ousmane Dembele, who apparently Real Madrid and Barcelona both want. Now, Onda Serra claim that Madrid are going to offer an initial 90 million euros, and Dortmund are going to reject that.
No surprise.
Which I would as well. Sport, who of course are a Barcelona paper, say that Barcelona also want him and Felipe Coutinho to replace Neymar. So,
Dual move.
very ambitious stuff. Bild reckon that Dortmund will deal for about 100 million euros, which to my mind sounds a little bit low, but apparently they'd want as much as 25, 30 million more in add-ons.
Doesn't surprise me.
You think we've talked about it a million times. We see him as a future Ballon d'Or winner, so it would make
100%.
sense to have that sort of clause in his contract. Now, of course, in 2016, he said, "My dream is to play for Barcelona." And he's probably one of the few young players in the world who could step into that Neymar role and not embarrass himself.
Yeah.
Now, he played in Dortmund last season, put up incredible numbers despite the fact that they only kind of slouched to a third place finish. I think that if you dropped him into a super team like Barcelona, he could absolutely light up Spain.
Yeah, 100%. You look at the stats compared to each other, and okay, Neymar does come out on top, but let's not forget that Neymar is 5 years older than Ousmane Dembele, which is a long, long time. Dembele last season completed the second most take-ons in the entire Champions League. Who was ahead of him? It was Neymar. He only took on 21 more players. On paper, they're really similar. Neymar creating 3 chances a game, Dembele 2.7, Neymar taking on 5.7 players per 90.
That's
unbelievable. Dembele still taking on an impressive 4.6. It's shots from inside the area per 90, Neymar 2.4, Dembele 1.6, and goals per 90, Neymar 0.4, Dembele 0.3. So really similar players. And okay, on paper it's a little bit of a downgrade, but like I said, 5 years difference. Dembele with a huge ceiling. He's such an exciting talent. But do you guys at home think he's the right man to fill in Neymar's shoes? Vote in the poll above my head right now.
We move on to our first loser of the week, and it's Monaco. Now, you'd have thought that they had Kylian Mbappe locked up at this point. It looked like the rumours were going away, but apparently he's now told the club that he wants out.
Yes, this comes from L'Equipe, a quite reliable French newspaper, and it seems that Real Madrid, if they do miss out on Dembele, are going to agree a deal for Kylian Mbappe. However, they do face serious competition from Barcelona, according to Guillaume Balaguer, who have been in talks with Monaco for over 3 days, ever since the Neymar deal went through. So Barca want him, Madrid want him. At this moment, it seems like Madrid is the more likely option, with Barca getting Dembele. Monaco want 180 million euros for the 18-year-old, which is a stinking amount of money. However, they are reportedly willing to accept it in installments, which might make it easier for Real Madrid to get signed off. However, that's not the end of this story, because Marca came out yesterday, on Thursday this is, saying that Real Madrid would only sign Mbappe if Bale was sold. And they want around 100 million euros from him, with Manchester United the most likely contenders.
You don't say.
But is it a good move to sell Bale and sign Mbappe, Pato?
I kind of think it is.
So do I.
I kind of think it is. And actually, I think that Dembele suits Barcelona better and Mbappe suits Real Madrid better. Now, what you want is a guy who can play on the wing for now. And then as the strikers get older, because of course Benzema's hitting 30, Ronaldo's already well over 30, you want someone who can move into the centre, because Asensio's going to take that wing role. And you know what? Kylian Mbappe, he's 10 years younger than Gareth Bale. And if you can recoup at least half the you pay for him by selling Gareth Bale, why not do it? Why not do it? Can you imagine how many shirts they're going to sell next year?
Unbelievable.
Every person in Asia will be wearing a Real Madrid shirt with Kylian Mbappe on the back of it.
100%.
Anyway, 10 years younger than Bale, and yet look at these numbers. They played about the same number of minutes last season, despite the fact that Bale's a senior player and Mbappe was just being eased into first-team football. About 1,500 minutes. Not a huge amount, but still a pretty good indication of the kind of player we can expect him to be. Bale, 0.4 goals per game. Mbappe, 0.9.
Insane.
Dirty numbers. Shots inside the area, Bale 2.4, Mbappe 3. This is a very clear picture of a winger versus an out-and-out
100%.
striker to me. Chances created though, Mbappe is creating more than Bale. 1.9 to 1.4. He can do a bit of everything. He doesn't dribble as much as Bale, but only by the tiniest little fraction, so he can beat his man, and he does that about 1.5 times a match.
Incredible player.
Really exciting stuff. And of course, the other issue with Bale, injuries.
Yeah.
Constantly injured. 11 injuries at Real Madrid. He's missed 52 games since 2014.
That's madness.
I mean, admittedly, in that time, he has won 3 Champions Leagues, but we digress. I think there would probably be a smart move to sell him on to Man United. I think Man United will pay dirty
100%.
money for him. And
Everyone wants
actually,
him.
he'd fit United as well. But what do you guys think? Is Kylian Mbappe the guy who Real Madrid need, or should they stick with the guy who's brought them 3 Champions Leagues in 4 years? Let us know in the comments below.
Our next winner is Leicester City. That's because they have completed and announced the move for Kelechi Iheanacho. The guy will wear the number 8 shirt and arrives for just £25 million, an absolute snip in the current market. However, Manchester City have reportedly got a £50 million buyback clause inserted into the deal, which is key for Pep and the future. Iheanacho, of course, joins on a 5-year contract worth just £90,000 a week, which is not too bad.
Not too bad.
About £10,000 more than they're paying Jamie Vardy at this current stage. He was also linked to West Ham and Southampton, wasn't he? But the Foxes and Craig Shakespeare won the race. Senior Leicester sources told Sky Sports that Pep didn't see space in the side for him alongside Gabriel Jesus. Basically, he's picked Jesus over Iheanacho and let him leave. He will see space though at Leicester, likely to play up front alongside Jamie Vardy in a 4-4-2 under Shakespeare, and that will mean the end of Shinji Okazaki's starts in this Leicester team. It would seem on paper anyway, because at the end of the day, Iheanacho is a better player.
Yeah, there's no way around that. Though I do feel sorry for Okazaki. I think he's kind of an underrated player. I think we'd all agree,
definitely.
Especially his role in that title-winning season. But look, Kelechi Iheanacho is a huge upgrade on all of Leicester's forwards.
100%.
Musa, Slimani, Jamie Vardy. Iheanacho is better than all of them. Beat all of them last season in chances created, shots and goals per 90. Even beat Jamie Vardy in goals per 90 in the season that Leicester won the title. 0.9 goals per game to 0.7 for Vardy. Now the issue here, of course, is sample size. Kelechi only played about 560 minutes last season, so that's a very small amount of playing time to see what a player actually is.
Yeah.
We'll need to see more of him next season. And there are question marks over the move itself. You wonder if he could have gone to a slightly better club.
100%.
Rumoured that Southampton were interested. I think Southampton is a better club. I think they have a better squad. I think they have a better manager. And you'd have thought that he might have had a more interesting role there. But look, he's gone to Leicester. He's going to get regular game time. And you know what? Man City could be really glad that they've got that £50 million buyback clause in a couple of seasons' time, because this guy could go into the stratosphere. Next up in our losers category, it's Zach Jalab's beloved Chelsea. And why is that? It's because they're going for a superstar midfielder. Is it Radia Nainggolan? No. Is it Julian Weigl? No. You know who it is? It's Danny Drinkwater.
Wow.
What a player.
After selling Nemanja Matic, of course, to Manchester United, I think it's fair to say that Chelsea are now running on the thin side of squads. The Blues have an outfield squad of 15 players. Of course, I'm not including Costa, who's going to leave the club. I'm not including Kennedy, who's probably going to leave the club, and Masonda, who is on the outskirts of the side. So 15 outfield players, excluding those 3. And the bigger problem, and the reason they're going after Drinkwater, is that homegrown quota. Of that 15, just 4 qualify under the homegrown quota. That's Christensen, Fabregas, Moses, and Cahill. They are struggling. They have to get English players through the door over the next month. That is why over the past week they have been linked to Ross Barkley, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and now Danny Drinkwater. They've apparently told Leicester they're willing to pay £30 million for the 27-year-old central midfielder. Wow, Pato, what can we say about this move?
This is a nightmare. I mean, look, we're not going to say that Danny Drinkwater is a bad player, because he clearly isn't. But you're not going to play him over Fabregas. You're not going to play him over Bakayoko. And you're certainly not going to play him over Kante. Now, I was reasonably impressed with him during Leicester's Champions League campaign last season. But Chelsea need starters. They
me.
need guys who can fill minutes for them in the Premier League, in the Champions League, and I'm not sure that Danny Drinkwater is that guy. But let's look at his stats anyway. Chances created per 90 last season, 0.5.
Ugly.
That is very, very low indeed. Bakayoko was 0.6, and he's a midfielder who we think of as having a more defensive role. But at least he can dribble, get the team up the pitch. I'm not sure Drinkwater can do that. Pass accuracy, 78% from deep, not incredible. Bakayoko, by comparison, 86%. Tackles and interceptions, 3.2. That's pretty good until you look at Bakayoko, who's up there on 4.5. So what you've got in Danny Drinkwater is a guy who can do a bit of everything, but nothing exceptionally well. When he's 27 years old and he'd cost £30 million, you think that there have to be better options
100%.
in the market. Maybe Chelsea should be looking at getting in a few young players, young classy players, and maybe like Teddy Bishop from Ipswich, those kind of guys who could maybe fill minutes in the future, and for the moment will fill that homegrown quota, because it's ugly.
Or they just shouldn't have sold Chalobah, Loftus-Cheek and all the other guys. Well done, Roman Abramovich. Our final winner of the day, Virgil van Dijk. Now you'll be wondering why at home. Pato, tell them why.
Yeah, Virgil van Dijk has been left out of the Southampton preseason squad by Mauricio Pellegrino. Apparently he doesn't want to be part of the team. That's a direct quote from the manager. Now, of course, Liverpool and Chelsea have both been interested in him, but the Reds have had to take a little bit of time back from this move because they were accused of tapping up the centre-back earlier in the season. Apparently he was still expecting to join the Reds, but now Chelsea have swooped in, according to the Times, with a £50 million bid. Now, Conte wants 3 more signings, and apparently Virgil van Dijk is the guy he wants at centre-back. But for me, I can't quite understand it, because when I look at that Chelsea squad, the one place where I think they've got plenty of depth is centre-back, unless they're planning on playing Virgil van Dijk in the defence and moving David Luiz into the midfield.
Whoa, that would be exciting. Far more exciting than Danny Drinkwater anyway. But let's not discount Liverpool just yet, because they are extremely interested, and it's well known that Virgil van Dijk does want to join the Reds anyway at this stage. He's a clear upgrade on Matip and Lovren, there's no question there. The guy, firstly, is a monster in the air. He's averaging 4.1 aerial duel wins per 90 minutes. I mean, Lovren's at 3.3, Matip's at 2.1, but 4.1 is insane. He's winning 1.7 tackles per 90. That's better than Lovren's 1.1 and Matip's 1.2. And interceptions as well, blows him out of the water, nearly double Lovren and Matip. So, obviously a very impressive talent and a huge upgrade. He would really lift that Liverpool side. But the problem for Chelsea is, like you say, that's their deepest position. They've already bought Rudiger in. You've got Alonso who can play there as well. Luis Cahill, Azpilicueta last season. Where does he fit in there? Nobody's quite sure. So Liverpool on paper is the smarter option for him as a player. But Chelsea at £50 million is probably going to get a deal done here, I think. I think Liverpool are going to end up finishing second in this race, despite the fact he missed 18 games last season through injury, which is an awful lot, and it was an ankle injury as well. And we know joints are harder to fix. But do you guys think he should join Liverpool, or should he join Chelsea? Vote in the poll above my head right now.
Our final losers are Man United, who apparently have given up the chase for Ivan Perisic from Inter Milan and Serge Aurier from PSG. Joe, what's going on with this?
Yeah, well, Sky Sports claim that Manchester United's summer business could well be done and dusted. Of course, the Mirror earlier in the week claimed that Manchester United had agreed a £27 million fee for Serge Aurier and had agreed personal terms at around £90,000 a week on a 4-year contract. But that now seems like it's off. Manchester United apparently have no interest in getting a right back in, which is a shock to me, because Valencia's 32, he's getting no younger, and he would have been a good little replacement. They also think that the Perisic deal is off the cards now. Man United not willing to pay €50 million, so have backed out of the deal completely. They also say, I've said that about 3 times, but the only player United will look to sign now, if he becomes available, is Gareth Bale. Wow, what on earth's going on, Pato?
Well, Mourinho said last summer he wanted 4 signings, and they went and got 4 signings, and that was it. This summer he said he wanted 4 signings. He said, we've got 3 of the 4. If we get 4 of the 4, it's a perfect summer. So I kind of trust him when he says that, but Gareth Bale is definitely the one they want, right?
Yes.
If they can get a move for him over the line, regardless of what it costs, they'll do it. The question is whether there are going to be any outgoings.
Yes.
We've heard that one of Phil Jones or Chris Smalling might leave. I mean, Arsenal have been linked with Smalling, so that could be quite interesting. But I think for the time being, Mourinho has got the players he wants, and he's just going to whittle that squad down. Unless something exceptional rather comes on the board, I think that United might be done for the summer.
Agreed. So that's all we've got time for today, but Pato, what should people do next?
They should sign up to our Sky Sports Fantasy Football League. You can take on me, Joe, Hamill, less impressive, and some of our favourite celebrity friends like Statman Dave, now known as Just Dave. Sign up, you could win prizes every week. It's going to be really, really exciting. The pin's on screen right now, and the information's in the description below.
Cheers, bye.